Hey everyone, welcome to On the Trail. I'm your host, Tony Ferreira. So today we're just cruising along here and we're going to discuss today's topic, which is going to be e-bikes. So this is going to be a seriously touchy subject because it's such a love and hate relationship when it comes to e-bikes. Personally, for me, I ride an e-bike and this e-bike has actually saved my life. So after my heart attack in 2017, I didn't have a choice but to get out and get some exercise, and I'm not a gym rat. So I chose to get a bike. I got an analog bike and I wanted to get my wife involved. And so we both got analog bikes. And neither one of us were very physical. I mean, we were fit, but we weren't, we never really got out and did much. We all ran a business and life got away from us. So when I got my wife her analog bike, we went out and rode together and she just couldn't do it. So she said, if you can find me an e-bike, we'll do this. So I went out and found her a budget e-bike on the rack or online. It was a little hyper e-bike, 26-inch hub-driven e-bike. And I'll tell you what, from that point on, she was tearing it up and just having a blast. We were going out more. The problem is I couldn't keep up with her now. So I had to go get one. And so I bought the Hyper, which is the bike I have now. This is like 3 years ago. I went and bought the 29-inch. Both of them are hardtails. Both of them are hub driven, which is a subject we'll discuss. But obviously I've upgraded both bikes, switching out the shock, the bars. There was a lot of upgrades that had to be done to the bikes to make them capable, but even doing that, it's still less expensive than going out and buying a really expensive e-bike. They're very capable now, safe, and I feel comfortable with them. So that's the number one thing. But the e-bike has definitely made a difference. So let's talk about e-bikes. Let's talk about the difference between e-bikes. There's several, e-bikes. There's EMTBs, which are electric mountain bikes, which is what we're discussing. But then there's also e-bikes for the road that have throttles and so on. And that's not my gig, but that's part of e-bikes. There's some that are gonna have throttles. These are pedal assist. So all they do is give you assist when you pedal. If you stop pedaling, the motor shuts off. These particular bikes have cutoff switch on the brake levers. So when you tap the brake, the power shuts off as well. I've had both. I've had the hub drive and the mid drive. I've had the full suspension and the hardtail. This one's a hardtail. My favorite, to be honest with you, is my preference, and it's not going to be everybody's preference, but my preference is the hardtail with the hub driven motor, and let me explain why. Let's go first, hardtail. One, the hardtail allows you to be more in tune with the trail. I feel like it's almost like a BMX bike. The way I've set this one up, it's lighter, so because it's lighter, it has more power. It's agile. You can throw it around like a normal bike. The hub drive is not always on. So like with a mid drive, well, that motor never shuts off as long as you're pedaling. The hub drive goes on and off as needed. So it's only on if you need assistance. That's what I like. I don't want my motor on all the time. I want it to just be there when I need it. I'm 58 years old, widowmaker survivor, so for me to be able to ride this bike 2 to 3 times a week, 15 to 20 miles every time I ride, hell, that's awesome. And that's what an e-bike's allowed me to do. It allows me to get through the trails. It allows me to ride more. I can ride a power hour during the morning, get home and do some work, or I can skip out on lunch and do a lunch ride. It all depends on your schedule. For me, I work from home, so mornings are better for me. Plus I live in the desert, so mornings are a definite, especially in the summertime. It's beautiful today, but so that's the reason why I enjoy the hub drive and ride the hub drive. Now, obviously this bike here, I'm not gonna go flying off cliffs and, you know, riding too crazy on it as far as trails. I'm probably gonna stick to green and blue trails and steer away from the black ones. I've already replaced the hub drive motor. Hyper's been great. You know, as long as you have a warranty. I mean, the hub drive, when I replaced it, it was really affordable, so that was cool. And then I have REI work on the bikes to keep them in good shape. But so that's why I choose the hub drive and like riding the hub drive versus the mid drive. Now when it comes to the mid drive motor, all right, so before we start talking about the mid drive motors, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you can get alerts of when I post up another podcast. And please be sure to like and comment. I mean, your comments are what this thing's all about, so we can learn from each other. I want to know what your thoughts are. You know, let's not get rude or nothing. Let's not be mean to each other. Let's help each other out. Comment some cool comments down there of why you ride what you ride. And if you ride an e-bike, what's your preference? And if you don't ride an e-bike, let's just talk about mountain bikes then, if that's what you choose, or wait for the next topic. But please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and hit that bell so you know when the next podcast comes out. I'll get comments going back and forth. We're gonna put a podcast up once a week. All right, so on the mid-drive motors, at least the one I had, I'm sure the bikes that are 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,000, I'm sure they're freaking incredible. But the one I had, the motor never shut off. I mean, if you pedaled, you had power. So you can opt to, you know, if you were climbing a hill, that thing would just buzz you up a hill. I would say a lot of people say e-bikes are cheating. I would say if that's true, the mid-drive motor is more cheating than the hub drive motor. The hub drive motor feels more like a bike. Mid-drive motor feels more like, yeah, if you got a lot of assistance going on. You know, you can always turn the power down. You can't turn it off because you're pushing a 52-pound bike. And that's the other thing when people say, oh, e-bikes are cheating. Well, if that could be true in a certain point, but you're also riding a 50, 48, 52 something pound mountain bike, you know, versus one of these light analog bikes. So it does have its payoff and then it doesn't. So anyhow, the one thing I noticed with the mid-drive is if you pedaled hard, it felt like, I don't know, it just felt weird. Like you didn't feel like a bike. Like here on the hardtail and the hub drive, I can stand up and pedal. I mean, my handlebars are creaking a little bit. I gotta clean the bike up a little bit. But with that one, I felt like the mid-drive was, you know, it creaked a little bit, stuff like that. And then pedal strikes with the full suspension. I would pedal strike a lot. I was always afraid to go over big boulders. Like if you had a, say you had a rocky section, like a chunky steps or something, I was always afraid to kind of go over that, you know, not wanting to hit the casing of the motor. I know there's a bunch of protection stuff out there, but I was just afraid of that. So that would be my only downfall of a mid-drive. I mean, I think they're great. I think an e-bike in general can get a lot of people out who think that they can't do it. That's what I think this is more about. This particular video about e-bikes. It's more about the people that are sitting on the couch and going, shit, I can't do that. I mean, look at all those rocks. Look at, it's hot out there. Look at how far they go. You're always constantly climbing. Well, then get an e-bike. And it doesn't have to be a super expensive e-bike. Go online, start searching. There's some cool e-bikes out right now. Hyper.com, hyperbicycles.com, Walmart has hyper bikes. You've got Aventon right now that just came out with a really cool mid-drive hardtail. I think it's like $2,600. That's not bad. You know, the Hyper's cheaper than that. I mean, the Hyper, I've probably spent on my 29er, my bike is probably about, I'd say $1,200, maybe $1,500. My wife's bike, about the same, because I had to do a lot to hers. Hers came with rim brakes, so I had to switch them to disc brakes. So I had to switch the front wheel and everything, but it was doable. It's still cheaper than, you know, and we go all over the place. I mean, that's the other thing. If you're sitting here watching this video right now and you want to ride, you need to get an e-bike, because it'll allow you to get out and experience some of this. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is just absolutely stunning. We came from way over there like nothing. So yeah, I mean, just, you know, something about an e-bike that allows you to explore. You're not stuck to the trail if you don't want to ride the trail. If you just want to go and try to get down that wash, go for it. You know, I mean, that's the beauty, I think, is just more exploring. Not that you can't explore on a regular mountain bike, of course you can. I'm just saying, with an e-bike, you can get out more often and further and just do your thing. So, I mean, there's guys that cross-country mountain bikers that, you know, will tell me I'm wrong. I'm sure, I know they will, and that's okay, because I know they're out there, guys that ride miles and miles and miles on analog bikes. That's awesome. But there are guys that are, you know, and women that are just physically not able to do it, and I believe an e-bike allows you to do so. And that's all I'm trying to do, because of the physical aspect of riding a bike is unbelievable, of what it's done for me. I'm trying to share the love here. It's allowed my blood pressure to stay down. It's allowed my cholesterol to stay down, my weight to stay down. It's allowed my mood to be better. It's allowed me to be a better dad, a better husband. I'm telling you. And it's just all about getting out and being out in nature. My wife and I, we ride, I mean, we have some epic rides. Now, she's not a single track rider. She doesn't like big old chunky rocks. She'll do single track, but it's not her favorite. So we find like scenic rides around lakes and around, you know, different things. I mean, which you can find tons, and then you make a weekend getaway of it. It's awesome. So it helps your marriage. I mean, it's so much. So anyhow, please comment. Let us know your thoughts. We're trying to learn here. If we can help people get out there and get on a bike. I mean, heck, if you're in the Vegas area and you're here on vacation, hit me up on YouTube, or all my information's on there. Email me, text me, whatever. I'll ride with you. I'll call. I have an extra bike. I'll ride with you. Just let me know. I mean, it's not a big deal. Try it out. I'm telling you, you'll love it. And I mean, I get out here and I do 15 miles. I'm not gonna say with ease, because I am sweating and I'm burning about 1,000 to 1,200 calories. So it's not like I'm not working. I am. And it's incredible. I just zoomed through here. I'm not going super fast to where I'm gonna get hurt. Again, remember, I'm 58 years old. So I'm not 20-something years old where if I crash, I'm gonna heal super quick. So I'm not stupid. I'm here to exercise. I'm not here to be on the cover of Red Bull or anything like that. And, you know, shout out to those dudes and women, because they're incredible. It's not like I don't watch them, because I do. But, you know, it's all about, to me, and this podcast, it's all about the health and fitness aspect. So please help us out. Give us your ideas. Let us know your thoughts on an e-bike. If you have an e-bike, tell me your story about how it's changed you, changed your riding style, changed your life. If you're thinking about getting an e-bike, ask the questions that need to be answered, and hopefully my listeners and subscribers and followers will, if I can't get the answer, I'll find the answer for you. So that's it for this topic of e-bikes. Thank you for tuning in to On the Trail podcast with Tony Ferreira. I'm out.